Thank you for tuning in the Discovering Insurance Show, a show where we discover roles within the insurance industry from dynamic industry professionals. I am Wani, and today we are joined by our special guest, Mr. Kevin Lin Kok Soon, Head of Digital Marketing in Allianz Malaysia. Kevin began his career as a multimedia specialist, and he is now a digital marketing expert. Vincent Lin has a vast experience in banking, telco, and retail business. As a geek at heart, he built his first website when he was 13. Wow, that's impressive. I need to ask you about that. Okay. Allianz Malaysia is the first insurance company Vincent Lin has tapped into. In his current role, Vincent is responsible for overall digital marketing strategy and digital self-service for customers in his free time. Vincent Lin enjoys designing and develop websites to keep up with the latest web trends and technology. Before we start with my first questions to all audience out there, if you have any questions regarding to the digital marketing, I hope you can drop off your questions in the comment sections at the social media you are in now. Okay, so now I'll start with my first questions. How are you doing? How was it been for you during the pandemic?
Hi everyone. I'm good. Pandemics, yeah. So it was a roller coaster ride, right? When the first MCO hits us, right? And everyone did not know what's going to happen and what to do. So on our side, we look at our marketing calendar plans from like last year's, right? I mean, the year previous. So we look at the plan and we were like, hey, what is going to happen, and what do we need to change? And guess what? A lot of cancellations, especially for those on-ground events, and there are a lot of products that they are not relevant anymore, right, during the MCO and the pandemic. So we actually went back to the whole drawing board again. We brainstormed, we discussed, we consolidated the teams, and we had to come up with a new calendar, marketing calendars, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And based on what for the past 2 years, what we have delivered is totally different from what we had planned prior MCOs.
All right. Okay. As I mentioned, you are head of digital marketing in Allianz Malaysia. Okay. As a leader, how do you manage your team during the pandemic and work from home situation?
Yeah, good questions. So we all of us had to work from home, right? And we technically lost that, the touch, we used to work very closely together, right? When we need a meeting, we call up everyone, we see each other, we see face to face. There were ideas being proposed, things like that. But this has changed, right? Everyone had to stay at home.
Yeah.
And we can feel that actually we are actually very curious. How's this teammate doing? How they're doing? So we do a lot of calls, definitely, right? We use Teams to call each other for meetings, and yeah. So how do I actually ensure this is has to go on? So most of the time we will call each other, right? We will check each other. How are you doing? Aside from work, right?
Never ending video calls, right?
Yeah, never ending calls, right? And not all calls are necessary to be like a work related, right? We check each other out, right?
Yeah.
Because we were so worried about each other that are you okay, right? Is there anything? Then we do a lot of like a chat. We do a lot of like hardest, right? We actually we had to do this to keep on.
Yeah, agree. All right, okay. So enough with the pandemic questions and all that.
Yeah.
Now we will start with the rapid fire questions. Okay, as I briefed you earlier, the rapid fire question is like what the first thing comes in your mind after my questions. That should be your answer. Okay, so I have few questions here. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's get started. First question: how would you describe your job?
Okay, my job. Okay. I will see the overall digital strategies in terms of marketing and also taking care of the digital assets. Yes, and this actually proven, with this pandemic happen, right? These assets are more relevant than usual, right? To reach out to the customers, this and that. And how do we actually communicate to the customers, right? We use a lot of our digital materials, right? Post
Okay.
on all these platforms to communicate with them.
Okay. Are you using social media and all that?
Definitely, social media is a very
Uh,
important platform.
all right. Okay. Next questions. When you think the word of successful, who is the first person comes in your mind and why?
Okay, I have to say that the first person come to my mind when this word means successful,
Mm.
it would be my wife.
Your wife? May I
Yes.
know why?
So you always have this saying, behind every successful man,
There's a
there's
what?
a
There's a
woman.
woman. Yeah.
There's a woman behind this. Um, she is my motivation. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she's the one also sacrificed with all the busyness with
Yeah.
work.
So I'm a uh she's a stay-home mom.
Okay.
So it's different sacrifice. I have
Mm-hmm.
to work, and she has to take care of the family. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Um, Number three. What are you reading or listening to right now?
Okay. I don't really read. If you are referring to books,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really listen to podcasts and things.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of browsing internet. So
Okay.
currently, I'm actually reading progressive web app
Mm-hmm.
on a website by Google developers, web.dev.
Okay.
So it's actually it's a next gen of the website in a it's a web applications. It actually can it works on web and the
Oh.
apps together.
Oh.
So you only have to do a single code base, and it applies to all. So it's getting more popular in US, and all the big brands are already starting using this.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay. So moving on. What's some of the best advice you ever gotten?
That's why. Okay. There was this guy, I would say, colleagues, ex-colleagues, when I was junior.
Mhm.
So he gave me this advice that be respectful and value everyone, right?
Okay.
So if you respect others, and you value their work, they will do the same to you. And this is how it makes things like smoother, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's like what you give, you get back, right?
yeah.
All right. Okay. For this question, I think you might need some few minutes to think, but not too
Okay.
long. Okay. So the question is, you can have dinner party with any four people in the world. Who's on your invite list? It can be anyone.
It can be anyone.
Hmm.
Dinner party.
Dinner party.
Um, Maybe someone who's not alive. Uh, Abraham Lincoln
Okay.
is
There's
way
one.
way past to 300 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and then second dinner party, Gordon Ramsay. He has to take care of the food.
Great idea. Okay.
Uh, third person, um, Ronnie Chen. Someone has to entertain us.
Okay.
I like Ronnie Chen. Um, and the fourth person will be my wife, and he
Yeah.
has to enjoy this together with me.
Great. Such a lovely husband. Okay. Next one. Who has inspired you in your career journey? I believe you have gone through so many things to go to
Mm.
until this far, right? So, who inspired you the most in your career journey?
Okay. So that will be one of my senior during my first bank job.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, so she was actually product marketing
Okay.
in, but she was given a task, right, to implement a very sophisticated web analytics tool
Okay.
to the website campaigns.
All right. Okay.
So I can see that she was struggling, but she overcame it with calling back to the HQ, which is in the US, late night call, a lot of googling,
Mm-hmm.
and she
Research.
also approached everyone to seek opinions, and guess what? She managed to implement it, and she did it. Like she didn't have any like a technical background at all,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
But she managed to do this, and it helps her campaign to know the analysis, web analytics, all these things. So I saw she did that, and I was telling myself, right, if person without technical background and she can do this. Why can't I do the otherwise, right?
Yes.
I was a technical
Technical
person,
person,
right? And why can't I do the marketing part, right? The product marketing, and so yes, and I would say that inspire me to learn more, right?
All right, great. Okay, we have one question from Facebook. Can you share with us some tips of how you get to where you are today?
Okay, this is from
From
Jamie
Jamie Wang.
Wang. Okay,
Wang. Okay.
okay, good questions. As I mentioned, it doesn't come from oneself, right? If you want to achieve some things, you have to work as a team. And the team not necessarily is your team with other teams as well, right? So basically, be respectful, right?
Okay.
Be understanding, right? If they have concerns and challenge, just try to understand and try to address it, help them. If you manage to help them, they will help you, right?
Yeah.
Then you can go along together to achieve some things. So I would say that it doesn't take one person to achieve success. It takes a team
Team to
to
work
succeed.
together.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Vincent, talking about the website that you built when you was 13, can you share a little bit about it? How you get an idea at the age of 13 compared to the 13-year-old boy now? I don't think some of them can. Maybe can lah. They can build a website just like you did. But I want to know from your perspective and from your opinion, and also your sharing with us your experience. How do you get to build a website at the age of 13? How do you get an exposure of all these things? Yeah, we need to know that.
Okay, that would actually translate back to like more than 20 years ago, right? We did not have all this cloud hosting. We did not have all this like hosting company like Exabytes, right? It was very different compared to now, right? I'm not so sure if anyone remembers Yahoo.
Okay.
Yahoo has this service called JostCity. So technically, it's actually a web hosting system. You can upload your website to that platforms, and it will host it there. But how did I build a website? We did not have the tool like advanced tool like today, Streamweaver, this and that.
Yeah.
We had to do it using Notepad.
Oh, Notepad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Notepad that you are using currently, so you have to program code it right from scratch. And how did I learn that? I was very passionate about when my dad bought me the first computer. Okay, it was a Windows 95 computer. Okay, that translates how long.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you got your first computer? Of course, a lot of people would try to connect to the internet and browse this and that. And I was curious, right? How does this work? When I connect to the internet with the dial-up things, remember? And when you open your Internet Explorer, you saw this website. I was like, how can I put that image on that browser?
Curious, yeah.
Yeah, I was very curious. So the curiosity drives me, right? And yeah, so I had to that time ask my dad, I want to learn more.
Yeah.
I want to know all this. And he has a humble background, right? He doesn't know anything about computer. He doesn't know. Till today, he only knows how to use his smartphone to WhatsApp and Facebook. Other than that, so he did not. So he went to actually support me by sending me to some of the computer class. Okay, that time. So I learned from there and a lot of self-learning, right? And I see this website. Hey, this website is so cool, right? I will get the code behind it, and I will use it and try to modify and put on my website and upload again to the JostCity and say it. So the final outcome was actually I registered because JostCity is like you only have like 50 megabytes, right? 50 megabyte is so little compared to now, but it was a lot during that time. So I built a website that I need more than 15 megabytes. So actually I went to register many Yahoo accounts.
Okay.
And then I built a website with the theme of my favorite games. So I put a lot of wallpapers inside, and then I rip some MP3 to put it, which is illegal nowadays.
Okay.
Those times we don't have this.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I eventually built a website, and I even actually implemented a PayPal, donate to me if you like this website.
Yeah.
And I think I got around 200 US dollar.
Wow.
Yeah, and then it was, but I wasn't able to use it because that time we don't have all this banking transfer system. So I ended up selling those US dollar in Lao Forum. So those were
Wow, that's great. Okay, Vincent, we have questions from Facebook again. What's your leadership style? From you, Shannon.
okay.
Hmm.
I'm people manager, so I would say that actually my motto is always that you work hard, you play
Okay.
harder.
Oh, okay. So that's how you deal with your
Yeah.
teams and all that. All right, great. We have one more questions. All right, from Mazrul Manaf, what makes digital marketing different from the traditional marketing? Yeah.
Okay, I can answer this.
Mm.
It's very simple. So you do a lot of if you do digital marketing, right? You can actually track it, right?
Okay.
The outcomes, like how many people view my web page, right? How many people click these buttons, and then how many people drop lists, this and that. So the most important thing is that actually when you roll out a digital campaign, you must ensure it's always tagged, right?
Okay.
Some are using Google Analytics, some are using Adobe Analytics. So then when after that you can create a report, a dashboard to analyze how well is your digital campaigns. For traditional marketing, it will be very difficult to track all
To
this.
track
So,
all
yeah.
that, yeah. Okay. Okay, I have one last question from me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm curious about this, but I just want to know from you about the nowadays people are selling through social media, and I believe that is part of the digital marketing also, right?
Yep.
So any comments, how can you see digital marketing in the future with the involving of business in social media?
Okay. So one of the things that really impressed me is that during the pandemic, a lot of businesses cannot open, right? And this group of business fishmongers,
Yeah.
right? So they resort to social media to sell their products, right? Because they couldn't sell it uh, in a store or whatever. So they end up sell it via Facebook Live. So I didn't expect that, and I thought like I had it out, right? I said, will this work? Will people buy seafood online?
Yeah, yes,
I
now
I I, I,
everything is
wa- I
sold
was
online.
actually um I was actually like monitoring, right? And guess what? They managed to do it, right? And some of them have much higher Facebook live views than most
Yeah.
of the businesses, right?
Yes.
And this actually impressed me. Yeah, so I think uh, all industry, right? They should venture into digital
Digital.
marketing, right? Social media marketing, all this.
All right. Okay. We have one more questions from Facebook. Uh, Lawrence Yu. Would TikTok marketing be better than Facebook marketing now? Since Facebook is getting very expensive now. Any comments?
TikTok marketing. Yes, TikTok. Uh, TikToks. Give a sec. Yes, TikToks. It has a very unique group of. If you think that actually it's the young people that are using TikTok, this is very wrong because what I observe is that people starting to use TikTok,
Yes.
right? And they post up contents. Some of the contents that and very entertaining,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't
Yes.
make sense, right? But some actually they started to post up a lot of educating materials there.
Yeah.
So I think yes, it's worth to explore that actually. Yeah. So it's always to have more platforms than rather sticking to one platform.
To one platform.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. Okay. I think That was great answer based on for all the rapid fire questions. Now we move on to the insurance industry point of view from you. Okay,
Okay.
Vincent. So Vincent, you can take as long as you want to answer these questions and be in depth as you like with your answers. There's no pressure here. Okay.
Okay.
So your first questions: what drew you to insurance or the insurance industry?
Okay. Um, okay. It was an opportunity from my boss.
Okay.
She approached and she offered me this role. Uh, and to be honest, I was hesitating.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't confident.
Mm-hmm.
I it took me couples of days to think, and most important, Google. I went to Google,
Yeah.
in things about insurance,
Okay.
insurance company. Go to their website, go to their Facebook pages, and I observe, right, what are insurance, right, in terms of digital marketing, right? What are they doing, right? What are they not doing? So I think I spent days um, exploring all this, and I also went to their platforms, like those self-service platforms, the apps, the web, and I can see there are really room for improvements, right? And I was think I thought, like, hey, if I could do this during the bank, why don't I just apply this on
Apply.
insurance?
Yeah.
So challenge accepted, took up this offer, and that's where am I now.
Great. Okay, next. How have you invested in yourself in terms of training and professional development position to get to where you are today?
Okay. I do a lot of practical, as you mentioned, right? I do design a lot of websites. I develop. So whenever I have free times, I develop certain website for my friends who own businesses, and then I help them to install, all these web analytics, and I from there actually I can keep up, all the web trends and the technologies, right? And I based on the web analytics, I can understand, like, what doesn't work for them and what works for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then of course, for those professional development,
Development, yeah.
so I ensure that I go to Google annual certifications.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically is you can go to this skill shop. You take up those certificates. There's a list of courses, so it's free anyway. So you can go in, and then you just have to take the exam, right? And you have to do it every year because things changes every year here.
Okay.
So you have to keep yourself up to trend.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Okay. So what is the culture like in the insurance industry?
Hmm. Okay, interesting questions. I would say very forward thinking.
Okay.
Okay, it's not like very compartmentalized like prior I joined.
Okay.
Because when before I joined, I used to think that insurance, right, is very compartment basis, right? You have underwriting, you have this and that, right? And everyone works on their own things, okay. But after I joined, I realized that actually insurance wants to move forward,
Yeah.
right? And I can speak on behalf of Allianz Malaysia. So there are a lot of empowerments for the employees.
Okay.
So if you think that things can improve, things that should do, you always can
Yeah.
propose and do it. And also the collaboration is very strong between the teams. And yeah, so I would say that in very near future, um, we always hear this, that actually, people saying insurance is always like 7-10 years behind banking. I think I'm very confident that actually firmly believe in very near future,
Yeah.
insurance will be on par with the banking.
Yes. All right. Okay. Agree with that. Okay. Now the last questions here. What changes or innovations in the insurance industry are you most excited about?
Okay, changes. There are a lot of changes. Okay, uh, I think many years ago when I bought an insurance, right, I was given a booklet, a take booklet, right? That's your contact policy, right?
Okay.
Policy contract.
Policy contract.
Yeah. And the first thing I received the booklet, and I had to think, hey, where to put this safely, right? I have to put it somewhere, and then to be honest, I do not know where is it right now. So
Okay.
what has changed, right? A lot of insurers, I think that they have all these self-service platforms, like for Allianz Malaysia with my Allianz, you can simply log into the platforms, right? The web or the app, and you can do all the self-service, and you can actually find your policy contract over there, even payments, receipt, this and that. So it gives me that, hey, everything is in order. You get what I mean? It's not like when I need a policy contract, the physical one, I have to search my desk and everything.
Yeah.
So I think this is actually very encouraging. Everything, this is um, one of the things that actually is um, um, sorry. So this is one thing I'm thinking. Okay, so aside from that, actually on the marketing side, so we used to see that a lot of marketing materials is posted on this platform, and it's always sell this product, this product. So what we have done is actually we create bite-sized content, right? We educate rather than just sell, right? We tell them what is this important. We also ensure that actually whenever there's a balik kampung, for example, balik
Balik
kampung,
kampung, okay.
so we create contents like, hey, remember to check your cars, this and that. If you need help, remember to call this number.
Educate and spread
Yes.
awareness also.
Yes, so it's awareness, and it's educating them rather than sell. So I think with a bite-sized content, you will create interest, right? And the customers are interested, they will actually explore more, right? They will actually eventually, if they feel relevant, they will purchase and buy.
All right. Okay. I have one last question. Something that you're proud of, being a head of digital marketing in Allianz Malaysia. What is it?
Uh, I think I would say the empowerment, right? It's not just that there's campaigns or a product to sell, then you have to do it, right? We are always we always feel free to propose anything, right? If you see there's an opportunity, to launch a campaign, to drive awareness campaign, this and that. So we are always there. Feel free to propose. I would say the autonomy is very strong.
Okay.
And I'm proud of this actually.
Yes. All right. Okay. Vincent Lin, that was incredibly insightful, and I had learned a lot. I believe the audience also have learned a lot from you today. And thank you so much for being here with us. And also, it's been an absolute pleasure. Vincent, do you have any last words for the audience?
Okay. I would say that step out of your comfort zone, right? Don't be afraid, right? Just don't worry about, hey, I do not know these products or industry very well. So if you have the zeal to learn, right, just step out of the comfort zone, take up the challenge, and you will be success.
Well, there you have it. Okay, so we hope you all learned as much as I did and had a great time with us. Thank you for joining us, and thank you all those who sent in your questions. Till then, we see you guys in the next episode. Thank you again. Goodbye and have a great day. Thank you, Till.